Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Making Magic Happen, brought to you by RW Hobbies and Games in Livonia, Michigan. I'm Zach, and today we're going to be playing some Modern. I've got Esper in front of me. I'm pretty excited. I'm ready to jam with this deck. But before we get into the deck discussion and the video, I want to remind everybody to smash that like button down below. Would really appreciate it. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you could take a second to click that subscribe button, it would really help me keep making these videos. I'd really appreciate it if you would. And with that, let's get into this deck and what it's doing. So, first of all, I'm calling this Esperka. It's not my name for it. This is a list inspired by TSP Jendrek. I haven't been playing a lot of Modern recently. I've been playing more Arena. I've been drafting. I've been really enjoying Draft. You know, when you're getting back into something, tend to check out what one of the masters of the format is doing, or one of the best players is doing. And Jendrek is somebody I have a ton of respect for. If you want to check out his channel, I believe he just streams under TSP Jendrek, or you can follow him on Twitter there too. But player I've played against a number of times on MTGO, ton of respect for his deck building, for his game. So I decided I'd copy his list. I didn't like everything about it. I changed a few cards from his actual list. I wanted more Thoughtseizes. I like Thoughtseize more than he does. I wanted less Archmage's Charm because I think in 3-color decks, Archmage's Charm is just not very good. So I am going less on Archmage's Charm to make the mana a little more favorable, and more Thoughtseize in the sideboard. Those are the big changes. I'm also playing Path to Exile. He doesn't have any Path to Exiles, but I think Path to Exile is great, so I've got 3. And the rest of the list is pretty similar. I've added a Kaya's Guile and an Esper Charm to basically make up for the 2 Archmage's Charms I cut, and I think that's going to be pretty good. The sideboard is mostly similar, although I've added a Deicide because I do really respect Heliod and an extra Teferi for mirrors, but also Teferi can bounce Heliod, so sure, why not? But that's what I got here. Oh, one of the big changes is to Field of Ruins. You certainly can't play these in the Archmage's Charm version. They're a little sketchy with the Esper Charm, but I think it's good enough that I'm willing to play 2. We'll see how much they punish me. I do have 25 lands, so I think it'll end up being fine, but really need to see where it's going. So, overall, really excited to play this list. I love Esper Charm. It's one of my favorite cards I've ever played with. It's just so good. It's an old school card, certainly at this point. For the old school, like, card advantage really matters mindset of Magic, and you know, 2021 Magic, it's more about mulliganing, playing to the board, but maybe we can teach some people that cards in hand still matter. So let's get in, let's get battling. I'm ready to do this. All right, here for round 1. Oh, I have to finish this before tomorrow. Jeez. All right. Hand looks like a keep. Not an ideal hand. The Field of Ruin, little awkward, but I don't have any Esper Charms in my hand yet, so should be good there. It does look like my hand's curve is a little high, but like, you know, if they've got like a Goblin Guide, I can trade off the Snap-on too. I've got a Force Negation as early interaction that I also can hardcast at this point, and if I draw any of my 1-mana spells, we'll be in a great spot, and I've got the late game kind of locked up with both my finishers here, so I don't think this is a hand you mulligan unless I know specifically I'm playing against, like, Burn. If I knew I was playing against Burn, I'd probably mulligan this. Probably mulligan against Heliod too. Being on the play, though, this is a hard hand to mulligan. Planeswalkers with interaction on the play are just so good in this deck. It's one of the reasons to play it. Alright, opponent's on 5. I guess their 6 wasn't quite good enough. Either I'm getting dredged or troned, or opponent's very unfortunate. You're not allowed to say opponent's unfortunate until you know they're not on dredge or tron, though. Those are the rules nowadays. If they're on dredge or tron and they're mulliganing, that's just what they signed up for. That's not unlucky on their part. They did this to themselves. Alright. Not dredge or tron. So very fortunate. And also, this hand's just like incredible in a blue-white mirror. I just have threats and counter magic and no dead removal spells. It's like everything you could possibly want. We'll take it. Oh, Opt is really good too. Man, that could not really have worked out better at all. You get to Opt here, you know, get a Hallowed Fountain tapped, Opt here, next turn Snap Opt. Followed up hopefully with a land and a Jace into Teferi. Yeah, this is gonna be a beatdown for the opponent here. Alright. Oh man, I didn't even think about playing around Shadow of Doubt. They don't have it though. They don't have it. You gotta respect Shadow of Doubt. Out of the psychos that play blue-white, you gotta respect it. Alright, bottoming Jace, because obviously I already have one, and that is a great card to staple straight to my Supreme Verdict. Gotta threaten the Esper Charm. Let them know. It could happen. We could cast an Esper Charm here. We're not going to, obviously. We don't have one, but gotta put the idea in their head. Gotta let them know. You might get charmed, my friend. Oh, missing their second or your third land drop in the blue-white mirror. It's rough. I'm still gonna do my snap thing here. The idea is to put enough pressure on the... Yep, I'll take an Opt. That's fine. Put enough pressure on the opponent to do something that I can create a window to resolve a Jace. That's what I'm going for. We'll see if that's what ends up happening, but that's what I'm going for. Also, Jace could get mana leaked here. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to go for it this turn. Opponent's already stumbling. Pressure's on them to make the first move because they're going to discard the hand size well before I do. And when they make the move, I have Punish with Force of Negation into Planeswalker follow-up, which is... what? Mana Confluence. Probably not blue-white control. Maybe this is like a Living End deck then? I may have misunderstood what I'm playing against. Well, don't really need another land. Although I'll take a land. I don't need it, but it's still better than drawing Path or Push, I assume. Another Jace. Well, I'm gonna attack and see what they do. If they like kill my snap or something, I will play a Planeswalker. Given that I have land drops to make, I probably don't need to. Mana Confluence is really strange. I really don't know what I'm playing against. I think I'm gonna play the Field of Ruin and not do anything quite yet. Okay, this is the Living End deck. Fair enough. Really wasn't expecting this. Looks like they're setting up to do something here. Oh my goodness. Just cycle all the things. Okay. You got it. So Ardent Plea isn't an instant and they can't cast Violent Outburst with this mana, so I think I'm going to hit the Mana Confluence now and cut them off red unless they have a mountain, which they might have. But it's unclear if they do. I guess I'm supposed to get white just because I have a Verdict in hand. Oh, they just have only one basic in their deck. Fair enough. So, this deck doesn't have anything that costs 2 in it. But it does have Force of Negation. So the way their mana is set up right now, I can jam a Jace. And if they counter it, they have to Force of Negation it, which they probably will do, but I have more, and what I really want to do is make sure I have a Force of Negation for their Living End. Oh, well, that's also good. I'll take a Jace and play. Jace is a pretty good Planeswalker. I mean, first Field of Ruin was just Strip Mine. I should probably keep the second, huh? I'll put both of these back. cycling some more. Godless Shrine also would be a fine grab there, but I think this is good too. Let's brainstorm again. Alright, Mana Leak's excellent. I'm going to put back Polluted Delta and Path. And play this. I think I'm going to cast Big Teferi too. And I have Mana Leak for their Force Negation. Although, if they did Force Negation here, I don't even think it's clear I would Mana Leak. Okay, they just don't do anything. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I'll take it, but not super sure. They're getting the red source and casting the Violent Outburst now. Maybe they have a Mystical Dispute. That would make some sense. Well, I will say if they have Mystical Dispute, this goes really poorly for me. Or Force Negation, that's also pretty bad. I'm gonna say, what other things get my +1/+1, but it's because of our, yeah. Makes sense. Untap those two. I do think I'm supposed to Path Exile now, just so I don't die next turn, because that'd be really bad. Otherwise, I am dead. So if they have like a second Force Negation, I do die here. I guess I was supposed to do this on their turn. They could have just hardcast it, but then I have mine. Oh my goodness. Lost the game. Alright, so I'm going to cut all the spot removal. That's really not what you want against a deck like this. Aether Gust is like, okay. Yeah, I think I don't really want any of that. I think I just want the counters. I do like Kaya's Guile as just a way to empty their yard on their turn. I think I'm going to cut a Verdict. I like giving Verdict as like a safety out, but I don't think you want too many. I guess I can just cut a Field of Ruin, even though they didn't show very many. Maybe Field of Ruin's good. Actually, Esper Charm's probably pretty bad. I'm gonna cut a Charm. Charm, like, looks okay, but I think it's just, like, a little too bad. Making them discard is really not good. They already are trying to put stuff in their yard. Oh, if this hand had one more land, then it'd be good, but it doesn't. Alright. Here's another hand that doesn't really function at all. Perfect. I am going to keep it, though, and hopefully draw a land. I am on the play, but I have an opt. I'm going to put back Big Teferi because it's not great here. I only have 1 land and I need to get up to 5. Alright, Cryptic Command is very much not what I'm looking for. Field of Ruin also a lot, not what I'm looking for, but if I do draw another land, I mean, at least I get to hit my land drop next turn. If I do draw another land, it ends up being decent, I guess. Alright, perfect. Uncastable. So, we got 5 lands in hand, or 5 spells in hand, and we can't cast at all. And Field of Ruin's looking truly atrocious. So, yeah. That's what's going on. Alright, Thoughtseize. Okay. Okay. Well. I do think that they only have 1 basic, unless they had 2 and they had another one in their hand last game. But if that's the case, then they can't Cascade next turn if this is actually Stone Rain. So, could be good. But I'm setting up to get Teferi in play, because then they can't Cascade at all. Oh, and it was Stone Rain. Beautiful. Well, I think I'm just supposed to take the Force and Negation. Now I put myself in a spot where if I do draw any of my lands next turn, I can Thoughtseize and then get Teferi in play, then their Ardent Play is just dead. So that'd be good. Alright, didn't quite get there. They drew a Vendilion Click? Alright, well, now their Force Negation's gone at least. Okay, so that's their hand. Come on, deck. Not like this. Alright. Would still like to draw land. Okay, that's not a land, but that's pretty good. I'm going to put this on top and just try to survive. Maybe I was supposed to bottom looking for a land. I think I'm in an okay spot, though. Because this doesn't matter. I can make them sack and exile graveyard. In fact, I don't know why they didn't click there. Click seems just, like, infinitely better. Maybe they're clicking on my turn now? Well, that was still a good draw, though. It didn't click on my turn. Still interesting. And my life total is really low, though. I think I'm supposed to mana leak. I've still bought time. Here, I do know opponent has a Cascader in their hand, but past that we don't really know what they have. I assume it's, yeah, some cycling stuff. Random cycling stuff. Drawing a white source specifically next turn would be amazing. What a cryptic command. Perfect. You'll love to see it. Alright, opponent's really got the cycle on. Still only have 3 cards in hand, and one of them is Ardent Play, which doesn't do anything right now. So I think I need to make this play. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, exile all opponents or all cards from each opponent's graveyard. And if one of their 2 cards stops me, okay, they didn't have anything. Keeping the Kai's Guile was apparently good. We'll take it. Yeah, after watching how that went, Cryptic seems not good. Maybe it's worse than Jace. I kind of wish I had another Force Negation too, honestly. Well, I'm not going to say this hand's great. It does need a white mana, but 1 white mana makes the hand quite good, so I think, well, there we have it. I think I want to save the Thoughtseize, though. I think I do. I'd rather let them cycle a few times and probably Thoughtseize next turn. It's not even like I'm trying to save life. Like, I'm not scared of the life loss here. It's more that I want to let them cycle a few times. I'm going to just leave Mana Leak up here. That way they can't Ardent Play on their turn and protect it. Or Violent Outburst on their turn. Either way, they're not doing this on their turn. And next turn I can Thoughtseize plus Hold Up Leak and see where we stand a little better. Alright, let's see where we stand. I would not be stunned if this gets hardcast forced. Or if they responded with like a click or something. Oh, they're just straight Violent Outbursting. Oh, this is horrible for me. Now they get to... Yeah, this does not go well for me at all. And now they get to Force Negation. I guess I was supposed to Thoughtseize the last turn. But then they could have just Violent Outbursted on their main... I don't know. If they also have the Force Negation, there's no way this was ever going to go well for me, if we're being honest. And they, of course, have it. Oh, that's rough. Okay, so their hand is actual nothing now. I can bounce the Windcaller Aven on my turn to buy 1 extra turn, but I'm going to need something to get rid of the Striped Riverwinder, which is tough. Because I don't have a lot. Maybe I can find a Snap or something. I also really need them to not have drawn... Oh, that's a good way to get rid of Striped Riverwinder. I need them to not have drawn interaction here. They had one draw step and they haven't cycled. Now they could have drawn like 20 different cyclers. If they've drawn interaction here, it's really bad for me. Not just really bad, I'm just actually dead if they've drawn interaction here. So that would be not good. I guess I'm putting Colonnade in play. I might as well. And I assume they're going to cycle the Avon here. Maybe they... Yeah, I was going to say, you can just do it on your turn, like 2 turns from now, and make sure I can't block it with a snap or something. Now it's actually interesting, are they attacking Teferi or me? They should probably attack Teferi, honestly. But if they do go for the greedy play and attack me, I have the huge punish because they can't stop the Kaya's Guile. Yeah, actually an interesting decision point from them. They did attack Teferi, that makes sense. Oh, second Kaya's Guile's excellent too. Alright, I think I'm playing the Hallowed Fountain tapped, passing. Planning to go sacrifice Exile Graveyard on their turn. Probably in their upkeep. Just want to sacrifice his Exile. This way, if they like respond with a living end, nothing changes. Like this goes into play and then gets sacrificed. Like that's not a good response. So they have to have counter magic here, essentially. All right. Kaya's Guile still strong. And I got rid of 1 Flooded Strand, so I do know that they have 2 Flooded Strands in, or they have a Flooded Strand in hand. I don't know anything else about their hand, but I know there's a Flooded Strand. Oh my goodness, that's a Jace the Mind Sculptor. Teferi's still better, I think. I think Teferi's still better. Let's go the Teferi route here. See what they have to say about that. All right, now I can plus. It seems like they really just don't have anything. And now I've got Kaya's Guile to protect from more living ends, uncountable because of Teferi. And get to do Jace plus Kaya's next turn. I think we've got this wrapped. They are starting to get to I can cast the things mode. They're getting close to that. All right. Now we don't know Flooded Strand, and they have 4 cards. I don't know what's in their hand. All right. I'm gonna start with Jace, and I do think I want to play Field of Ruin just to give myself the option to shuffle this turn. We'll see. Right, probably not going to play Field of Ruin now. Probably going to Flooded Strand. Although, I could still Field of Ruin. They just haven't grabbed their island yet, so it's not like Strip Mine at the moment. And I'm just going to plus Teferi. Don't ever want to give them a chance to get Teferi off the board. The only way they're getting Teferi off the board here is Petty Theft, and it's really hard to set up Petty Theft plus a way to punish me in the same turn when they have to do it on their main phase. When I also have a Kaya's Guile, like it just Petty Theft works. It's like functional, but just not a great answer, I guess I'd say. I don't think they realize that this doesn't work with Teferi in play. Yeah, okay, there they go. I was gonna say, I had it covered anyway with Kai's Guile, but I don't think they realized how that worked. So there we go. It's actually a really tough matchup for these decks, so pretty cool to get the win. Kai's Guile carried a lot of weight there, I'll say that much. That card was a house. Alright, won the die roll here in round 2. Have somewhat of an awkward hand. In fact, it's a very awkward hand. But I think it's good enough to keep. Maybe. It's close. I do think this is a keep, but 3 snaps with no spells to snap back is a little awkward. Yeah. I do like 25 opt-in for lands, though. It feels like the right number for control decks in Modern at this point. I'd love to be able to play a cantrip that actually worked in like 23 lands. Maybe like 6 cantrips in 23 lands, but... Alright, Ancient Ziggurat. Into Noble Hierarch. This is like exactly the hand you don't want against humans. Perfect! You love to see it. Well, the good news is, outside of the 2 other Force Negations, I don't really have bad draws left in my deck. Lands and spells are all good. Wait a minute. 4-drops are pretty bad, actually, so hopefully we're not drawing 4-drops. Although Verdict would be good. Basically, just the Planeswalkers and Force Negation are my only bad draws at this point. Humans player really wants this upkeep stop. Alright, I get it. I know humans doesn't actually do anything in my upkeep ever, so it makes sense to have this stop. That was sarcasm for the people who didn't catch it. Like, if anything, a draw step stop makes a little bit of sense, because sometimes they do vile stuff in during your draw step, especially Kitesail Freebooter. The upkeep stop makes no sense at all. There's just absolutely no reason to ever do this in humans, but, you know, you do you, opponent. Alright, we draw one of the 4-drop Planeswalkers. Oh, baby. So what did I have, like, 7 bad draws? 50 cards? Nice. Very nice. Yep. Go ahead and take one of the things, man. My hand doesn't do anything at all. I have no functional spells. I'm not doing a darn bit anything. Well, alright, that's better than not drawing that, I guess. Lands are good here. Hopefully I can jam Jace next turn and get a Brainstorm off, fix his hand a little bit. This Force Negation is looking truly awful. Meddling Mage, you say? Well, probably going to have a hard time beating that, especially if they name Jace. A Fatal Push or a Path Exile would be a really good draw, though, because that is, yep, they named Jace, okay. Yeah, a Fatal Push or a Path Exile would be insane, because it's essentially 2 kill spells. I draw 2 of them. Oh my goodness. No! I'm supposed to Force Negation the Aether Vial. Why? Come on. I just clicked through it immediately. It's the only thing Force Negation can counter, and they snuck it through some priority shenanigans. Kaya's Guile. That doesn't... Alright, that's... Kaya's Guile works against humans when you're actually killing their stuff, but as the first kill spell, it's not good. It's not good at all. Alright, well, Force Negation, not good. Mana Leak, not very good. Cryptic Command, not very good. These are good. Celestial Purge hits Mana Strider. Yeah, it hits Mana Strider. Alright, I'm taking the Purge. Teferi seems fine. And probably like one Mentor. Mentor seems like okay. Yeah, I'll put a Mentor in. Maybe there's a chance I'm supposed to have another Mentor over like a Jace or one of Teferi's. It's probably better than Teferi, honestly. Just have enough Mentors to, you know, kind of just soak a bunch of damage on the ground, make an army about their, you know, about the size of the opponent's board and actually trade off. Alright, here's a hand that, again, doesn't really do anything. So we're going to mulligan. Well, this hand's not very good, certainly. But I think it's a keep. It's pretty bad. I'm going to bottom a tar pit, too. Definitely leading on tar pit and getting 2 hallowed fountains, because I do have 2 Supreme Verdicts in my deck. Probably just going to play 3 straight tap lands, like Tar Pit, tapped Hallowed Fountain, tapped Hallowed Fountain. Well, maybe I don't get a second. Maybe this just gets plains. I could just get plains. I do have enough blue. I'm definitely going Tar Pit, Polluted Delta for tapped Hallowed Fountain. That is 100% how this hand wants to sequence. After that, I'll decide on Flooded Strand, and this is definitely going to be the 4th land. I guess this could be the 3rd land. We'll wait on these 2 and see what happens on turn 3. Yeah, but I think this is a fine start. I'm going to need some sort of card advantage, whether it be some Snapcasters or Mentors. This hand needs to draw some more spells, clearly. I mean, I have 4 lands and 2 spells, but I do believe it's a pretty good start to a game against humans. Just having that turn 1 Fatal Push is really crucial. Slow them down. Looks like they're really tanking on their 6. Maybe not sure what to put back. Maybe they're not even sure if it's a keepable 6. Alright, looks like they have decided on their 6. I'm still just Tar Pit going. Hoping for no Aether Vial here. Noble Hierarch is much better for this hand. Alright, that works. I would say a lot of times you don't actually want to kill the Hierarch, but perfect. I was just saying how much this hand wanted to draw lands and not spells. Because I have the Kaya's Guile, which is just the Edict, I'm just going to do this now. Get that F6 value. 5 minutes ahead on clock. I've only used 2 of mine. I'm going to need 7 for the record. But, alright, there's the Aether Vial. That has to have been their draw for turn, because you always go Aether Vial over Hierarch in this deck. Perfect. You know, another land there is excellent. It's exactly what I said I wanted. Given that my color situation is no longer an issue, like talking about doing the strand earlier, I want to save these in case I draw a Jace. It's kind of the plan. Beautiful. Well, this ends up working out somewhat. I'm going to stop in their upkeep with Aether Vial on the stack, because they're either going to activate end of turn or try to put a trigger on it, and then I'll get the Thalia for sure. Sacrifice, make a 1/1. I guess gaining 4 is somewhat interesting. 1/1 has to be better, though. Each one of sacrifices, create a 1/1. They already played a Hierarch. They don't have that many 1s. They also, like, if they had a 1, they probably would have activated last turn. It's kind of a dead giveaway they didn't have a 1. So by passing into their upkeep, I give them a window to activate in their end step. And if they had activated, we would have been in good shape. That said, now they get the Guile, but this is still good for me. I'm actually in a spot 2 where I'll be able to trade the tar pit off with something eventually. Maybe. I mean, humans can make their creatures pretty big, but I can at least threaten block, so that's a very good draw. Oh, this is another freebooter. This goes insane for me. Oh, it is. Perfect. The instant speed removal spell just could not be better here. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, create a 1/1. And I'm going to attack, and I think I'm getting Godless Shrine. I think I might as well. I already have triple blue. I could just get Watery Grave. I think Godless Shrine is fine here. I think I cut all my cryptic commands. I did. So don't need triple blue. I have enough blue that I think I'm going to be good. Meddling Mage. I assume you're naming Fatal Push, but I'm more likely to draw Path to Exile. Yeah, you name Fatal Push here because I have 2 in my yard and they know I have Snapcaster. They saw my hand game 1. So you turn off Snapcaster, Fatal Push is an option. The good news is Snapcaster can still hit Guile here, but that's really good. Alright. So, no reason to attack. Just going to play defensive. They could easily have like a Mantis Rider or something. The Tar Pit can actually trade here, which is good. General Kudro, huh? Interesting. Alright, so this makes even more sense. They're going to Meddling Mage, attack the Fatal Pushes, and use Kudro to get rid of the Guiles. And they've really protected themselves from Snapcaster, which is a good job on the opponent's part. They've done a good job protecting themselves. Tar Pit's actually looking good here, though. Giving me a spot to get a trade off, which is nice. It does... Ooh, Lieutenant. Okay, so this goes just incredible for me. Because I drew the Verdict, I can just chump. Don't even have to sack my Creeping Tar Pit here. And then just cast Verdict and wipe their entire board. They have no cards in hand. They will get to pop the Waterlogged Grove, and they do have an Aether Vial, so that's a little awkward, but overall, totally fine. I'm still at 18, and if I do draw a Planeswalker at any point here, I'm going to start running away really hard. I think given that I have the Tar Pit, I'm supposed to get Watery Grave here, just because there is a chance I'm going to sacrifice it at some point. Oh my goodness, we drew Esper Charm. That's so good. Oh, I love you, Esper Charm. So now, if opponent doesn't draw a 3-drop for turn, and they go with the, instead of casting a thing, I'm going to Waterlogged Grove, we get to do the blow you out. Oh, Esper Charm's really good against Aether Vial and like sack lands like these that draw a card. You can really set it up to get them. I will say that much. You can also just set it up to draw some cards, but... Ooh, what is this? It's a little Gaddock Steve? Nope. Maybe we're thinking about popping the water. No, alright. They wanted to tap it? Yeah, I don't... I think they are sacking this. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. Not bad, not bad. I did draw a 3-drop. The Mantis Rider. I was gonna say that's good, but like eminently beatable. So what do I want to do? Draw step, make them discard 2. Seems pretty good. I can also just draw 2. Let's do that. That's got to be better. So I draw a fetch land, or like any of this. This is all great. What is their one card in it? I think they had... Yeah, they had a Gaddock. I was going to say, I think they had a spell in hand. Pretty sure. Now I can pat the Mantis Rider. I have Snap, Pass, Snap, Push. Both are good. I also have Snap, Esper, Charm to draw 2, which is amazing. I'm going to pass to their upkeep again. Just in case they have a 3-drop. Okay, I don't think they have a 3-drop. I think they would have done something if they had. I could have made them discard 2, but I think at this point just finding an engine is more important for me by quite a bit. So I'm going to go that route. There we go. There's our engine. 'Twas the thing we were looking for. Yeah, and like, I could have got them to discard 2, but like one of them's a Cavern of Souls, so like, does that really do anything at all? Probably not. Oh my gosh, they drew Gaddock after we took the first one, and they couldn't even have cast it before this? That was why it stuck in their hand, was they couldn't cast it. Alright, well, maybe punished. Maybe a little punished. That said, I'm still in okay shape. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to start bashing. I am somewhat winning the race. I was going to say, this feels like a freebooter. They do get my Jace, which is unfortunate, but I couldn't cast it anyway, so not really the biggest of deals. Like, I would describe that as mostly a brick here in terms of draw steps. Yeah. Yep. It's perfect. So good. So good. This thing really doesn't turn off that much in my deck. I boarded out the Cryptics. It hits 7 cards, but, you know, of course, after I kill the first one, they immediately draw their second copy, and then I would draw 2 cards that it hits, but, you know, so be it. Interesting. I was going to say, you can't be attacking with Teague here. There's no way. But now they're like almost forced to block. This is a strange attack, I think. Oh, that is so good. Can I do all the things? What if I... No, I'm 1 mana away from doing all the things, right? Yeah. Well, fair enough. think I'm supposed to just plus here. Yeah. Definitely supposed to plus there. Because then I, like, Mana Strider is bad, but just still very beatable. I don't really think I want to change anything. Gust, once I've seen Teague, gets a little more interesting. It's probably better than Purge. They both hit Mana Strider, which is really the thing I care about. Although Purge hits Kite Sail. Maybe they're both just better than Teferi. Teferi's not very good against humans. Alright, I mean, this hand is a keep. It's awkward that I have both of my Teferis against humans, which, you know, Meddling Mage, Thalia. Teferi's not particularly good, but when you have 2 Fatal Pushes and the requisite mana to cast it, I think this is a keep. Again, really hoping my opponent just doesn't have Aether Vial all 3 games we play. In a matchup where Aether Vial is particularly good. I mean, yep, alright, perfect, they do. Why wouldn't you just always have it in your 7 if you were the opponent? You just always would, right? Wonderful. Alright, so they had Aether Vial, but as long as they don't have Thalia here, we're in pretty good shape. Oh, they kept a 1-land Aether Vial hand. Well, now I wish I had my Teferis. So Meddling Mage is, like, awful here. Everything else is, like, pretty beatable. Meddling Mage is so bad for me here. I am going to kill that now. Make them think I used my Fatal Push so that maybe they don't name Fatal Push with Meddling Mage if they get to that part of the game. Don't be a mage, be a Thalia. Thalia! Alright. Beatable. Beatable. Not amazing, but beatable. I think white-black is still the best here. I don't have Cryptic, so I really only need 1 blue source. I am just going to kill Thalia now. And we're actually drawing lands, which is what this hand needed to do to begin with. This is going pretty well for us. I was going to say, Freebooter here is not good at all, actually. It's, like, pretty bad. Although, if they also have a Meddling Mage, then you boys in trouble. Can we not have a Meddling Mage, too? Not just, like, literally all of the problem cards in the matchup? Literally all 4 of them? Thalia, Vial, Mage, Kite Sail. I'm pretty sure you would have snapped off Vial Mage on Snapcaster there. I think you would have. I think you would have, but maybe not. Monastery Mentor, huh? That is interesting. I'm going to wait until the turn I can trigger it. I could get it in play now because opponents been pretty slow and this actually like punishes them pretty well. They're also very unlike... I actually really don't hate Mentor here now that I'm thinking about this a little more. It's so unlikely they have a way to kill it. But it's also pretty likely I'll be able to trigger it later. I'm just going to leave up Snap Push. I think that's more reasonable. I am going to upkeep Snap Push the Kite Sail here. Or do it in response. That seems good too. Stop them from hitting Mage. I think they have another Kite Sail. That's kind of my read. Because I think you would have maged main phase. I don't really understand this if it's not another Kite Sail. All the other 2-drops are better than main phase. Oh, Lieutenant. Okay, I guess Lieutenant makes sense, as it just doesn't really matter. You can kind of always kill it. I will trade Snapcaster for it, but if they give me the chance, I don't think they'll give me that chance. But also, this is the type of thing that Mage. Do we name Teferi? You still need to name Snapcaster a Fatal Push, right? They did name Snapcaster. Okay. So Teferi's a really good draw. So as long as this isn't another Thalia, we should be in really good shape. Or a second Mage here is also that too. That makes sense. Also quite bad. My deck has a lot of ways to target this, though. And all of them kill it. Kaya's Guile, huh? Alright. So I think I'm under not enough pressure here that I need to do anything. And I'm going to take this turn to get the Mentor in play so that I can start generating value here. It'd be cool if opponent would stop drawing spells. Yeah, maybe flood even slightly. That'd be pretty sweet. Oh my god, another Thalia's Lieutenant here is so bad for me. Okay. Do I trade with the Snapcaster one? I really don't think I do. I think I need to wait. I am taking a ton of damage here, though. I was maybe supposed to trade with the Snapcaster one. That at least buys me another turn. Huh. Jace is not bad. It's actually, like, pretty good. So let's think about this. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. One of them's probably a Mantis Rider. Pretty scared of that, actually. I think you would have ticked Vial up, though, if it were. Maybe not, because you had another Phantasmal Image. So let's say I play Jason minus on the thing targeting, or the mage that has Teferi on it. I get rid of a 3/3, and I give myself another chump blocker. I do end up having to chump this turn with both Snapcaster and Token. But I think that allows me to stay alive and have a Jace, and then Jace can kill the Thalia's Lieutenant next turn. And I can Kaya's Guile. I think getting Jace in play is the highest upside play. I'm certainly willing to admit I'm decently likely to lose here, but I think this play has enough upside that I need to make it. And if they have like a hasty threat here or 2 humans, I could be in trouble, but otherwise I'm in decent shape. Opponent needs to have some specific things to get out of this, I guess. Otherwise I get to start going to town here. They left it on 2, that's good for me. It's probably not Mantis Rider. Another Thalia's Lieutenant would be pretty bad, all things considered. Thalia, also not great. So they 100% have another Phantasmal Image in their hand, or another Thalia's Lieutenant. Because otherwise his attack doesn't make all that much sense. I think they have to. Why else would you leave the vial on 2? It's also kind of annoying that they only drew... They kept a hand that kept vial on 2 and then only drew 2 drops the entire game. So the question is, do I play around it? I mean, they just have to have it, right? It's just so obvious that they have it. All right. I'm going to make the blocks that leaves me alive if they have it. This stinks because this is way worse for me if they don't have it. I could block like this. If I block like this, then I'm not dead to any... I'm dead to only Thalia's Lieutenant or Phantasmal Image. I've also already drawn 2 Phantasmal Images, but they're playing in such a way where they're like strongly suggesting that they have that thing. I just don't think I can win if I make this black. I think I just have to die to the Phantasmal Image Thalia's Lieutenant. I think this is a good lesson in playing Magic right here is, look, you're going to lose to some stuff. It's going to happen. I need to make them have this thing. And they only have 4 copies of the thing that kill them out of 49 cards. They're not all that likely to have it. Alright. If you have the thing, you kill me. If you don't have the thing, I go to 1 and I'm going to win. I think they have the thing. Pretty sure they do. They had the thing. Of course they did. Why wouldn't you have the thing? Why wouldn't you just have all of the perfect cards for the matchup? But the thing is like, unless I was going to draw exactly Supreme Verdict, if I don't make this block, I don't have outs. But yeah, I mean, opponent, kept a 2-land Aether Vial hand and drew exactly 2 drops for the entire game. Never even had to switch their vial, anything. That was frustrating. Alright, here for round 3, lost the die roll. Yeah, this hand's definitely a keep. Yeah, that round 2 loss might look bad, but I really think it was fine. Alright, Luris and they've mulled to 5. That's interesting. Luris and Modern is like... Boggles, I guess, makes sense. Usually it's Burn or Shadow. Looks like it's Burn, but on a mull to 5, that's fine. I accept. This hand's not great against Burn, but... And if it draws any removal spell... That is exactly what the doctor ordered. We'll take it. Definitely going to give him an option to trigger Prowess here. And if they play Eidolon, I think I'll just kill the Eidolon instead of the Swift Spear. Alright, so planning to mana leak whatever they play here into Snap, Fatal Push, Swift Spear. Ooh, Luris in hand, interesting. Well, Force Negation is very good. Alright, so I do want to give myself the option to Snap Push. We need to see what they do. If they want me to take 1 from Swift Spear, fine. I can take 1. Because I'd like to Mana Leak Luris. But if they don't play anything main phase and then, like, make me take 1... Like, if they cast spells here to commit to Swift Spear, I'm going to Fatal Push... Let's see what they do when I go Snap Fatal Push here. Let's see what happens there. Because I might want to Force Negation the Bolt. I probably don't. I might want to. Okay, well this actually ends up working out way better for me. So I go to 8, but opponent has 2 cards in hand. One of them is Luris, and I have a mana leak up. And another Force Negation even. And I actually have pressure too, which is really the important thing here. Opponent can't just sit around and build up a handful of burn spells using their draw step to get around my counter magic, because I'm at 8. I can counter some stuff. And, oh, that's getting mana leak, sorry. No Luris. Not today, my friend. Alright, and now I can just not worry about anything. Fire these off on literally anything I can find a target for. Rift Bolt, huh? Lava Spike. Alright, Lava Spike is certainly gonna get countered. I guess white is slightly better. I do have Verdict. I just want... you know what? Maybe that was wrong. Maybe I was supposed to Force Negation that. I was definitely supposed to Force Negation that. That was wrong. Now I put myself in a bad spot to a creature. Yeah, I think I screwed that up. It's not good. Not good at all. That said, I probably do just Force Negation the Rift Bolt. Just to buy myself more time. Ugh, man. Blaze is really annoying there. Now I think they're quite ahead. Maybe I was just supposed to let the Rift Bolt resolve and save that? Alright, well. That's pretty bad, but it is what it is. I'm going to play this because I do have Planeswalkers in my deck, so like if I draw a Jace, I'm going to want to brainstorm and shuffle away. The Mana Leak is definitely live, so it's going to do something for me here, but man, Horizon Canopy lands in red. That was always one of those... I'm not sure about this. Okay. I still think this is fine to counter. It at least lets me fetch. I probably don't want to fetch anyway. But it does let me fetch. Alright. Spell. That's a spell. Planeswalker? Kaya's Guile. I like Kaya's Guile. I really like Kaya's Guile, actually. Well, I probably just didn't need to fetch there, honestly. I probably just could have not done anything, but... Oh my god, I screwed this up so bad. Yeah, I just was not supposed to fetch. I was supposed to let them do something, but whatever. I don't think their graveyard matters anymore either. Just whatever. I'm going to entwine it. I got pressure again. I'm back to 7. It's decent. I was really just supposed to not do anything there, though. I was not supposed to fetch. I was supposed to let them play a creature and then Kaya's Guile with kicker. That's what I was supposed to do there. That said, I think we'll be okay. And by be okay, I mean, like, I'm going to be okay because I top decked the perfect card 2 turns in a row. But that's a reason to play Kaya's Guile. Good against Burn, and good. It was good game 1 and game 3 there. Should be good against humans too. Now I'm at 9 with 2 creatures in play, and opponent has 1 card in hand. So looking like I'm in good shape. Field of Ruin's not a very good draw. I do kind of wonder if maybe my deck should, like, cut Snapcaster for Kahira or something. I don't know. Probably not, but worth thinking about. Alright, Boros Charm was the kind of draw stuff they need to get back in this game before I draw a spell. That's, like, really not going to do it. I mean, how am I not just dead here? I'm dead to literally everything in their deck except maybe Eidolon. Oh, not Searing Blaze because the land. Okay. Fair enough. Spell here would still be very good. Okay. So now I need him to draw land or creature and I can chump. Definitely not playing this to make them maybe, you know, play weird. That's a really frustrating game to lose. Yeah, just casually draw 10 lands. I mean, I did draw 27 cards or whatever, but still frustrating. I think Verdict's bad. I don't actually like Cryptic all that much. It's like okay. I do think I need Jace. Esper Charm's like medium too. It's okay. I cut a Fielder Rune. Fielder Rune's pretty bad. Cut one Esper Charm. I'm just gonna cut all the Esper Charms. Esper Charm's okay, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I mean, this hand's really awkward, but I think it's a keep. It's what you want. It's early removal into counter magic, into all of the things. It needs to draw 2 lands and a black source, obviously, but it's mostly what you want. Right, Riftbolt is totally fine. That's also fine. I mean, I'll take it. It's not bad per se, but man, I would like to. So what is opponent's hand here? This is very strange. I am just going to flash in the Snapcaster and start beating down because there's a real chance I don't draw land here and I just draw 4-drop instead. And if that's the case, I really want to be shortening this game. Still targeting me. All right. If you say so. Yeah, pretty classic. Just need to draw any lands and just only draw spells scenario. Oh, man. Bolt me, sure. I'm gonna race Searing Blaze. No, I think I like what I got enough to not let that one resolve. I am looking to use this Force Negation pretty aggressively now, though. I will say that. Like, if they Searing Blaze again... Guide! is not amazing for me. I don't really want to take this 2, but I will. If you can draw me a land, that'd be incredible. Thank you. Take it. Purge also pretty good, honestly. Alright, I'm going to play this tapped. Obviously, I would like a black land, but, you know, I get what I get. Would like to purge the Goblin Guide. Boros Charm, yikes, okay. Land here would be great. That's at least a black land. Does something. Purging here because Path lets me go Path plus Gust next turn, which is at least a plan. And there's a chance they have to lure us here. Or crack a Sunbait Canyon or something. I will take that. Opportunity to cash that in. Oh boy. I just used my force, so the Jace is kind of loose. I'm not that far away, honestly. Well, this is a really tough play. They have 2 cards in hand, and I'm dead to burn spells, unless I don't do anything, which is an option. But then I'm like never playing the Jace. If I take my shields down for this turn, I can get the Jace in play, but I am dead to 2 burn spells, and they have 2 cards in hand already, and they're drawing a 3rd. I'm protected somewhat against creatures by having a Snapcaster Mage in play. I can also control their top card. I think that's my best bet. It's a little sketchy because they did just fire off the burn spell main phase last turn, which does somewhat indicate that their hand is full of burn spells. They were trying to be mana efficient, but they also spent the turn cracking their land, so maybe one of them's a land. I'm gonna look at the top card. Eidolon, no, Eidolon is fine. Eidolon is actually one of the best draws for them to have. Because now I can let Eidolon resolve. So they already have 2 burn spells rolled up. Now I can let Eidolon resolve and just bounce it with Jace and then Aether Gust it after that. And start attacking. Yep, so this goes great for me. Guide is fine. Let's opt. Bottom the Delta. Then Path to exile the Guide. Now Eidolon resolves. I can bounce. Play Big Teferi. Plus. Ooh, Little Teferi is also good. And now Eidolon's basically uncastable for them. They just can't do anything with it. And I have Gust this turn. Like, if they play Eidolon, they just die. So, I'm fine with it. They can't use this for mana and use Eidolon. So Eidolon's like almost just not a card in their hand. That's fine. Plus here. Now they just are dead to Aether Gust. Because they put themselves to 2 with the Eyelet. Alright. Time for a game 3. Do I want to change anything? I really don't. The cheaper curve helped quite a bit. Yeah, I think this hand is fine. Gonna keep. I could see this Teferi just being Esper Charm, or maybe even Verdict because I'm on the draw. Maybe Cryptic. Cryptic might be better than Teferi. I could buy that. Just have like 2 of them. This hand's awkward. I do think it's a keep, but man, it's not great. Would love to hit like a white source here, maybe. Oh, I'm drawing Mana Leak. Perfect. I almost wonder if I have to mulligan to a hand that has push or path against burn on the draw. I don't think I need to do that on the play, but I think on the draw I probably do. Well, this is awkward. Land? No, of course not. Why would we ever draw land? Beautiful. Alright, well, I have to shock here. I am 100% losing this game. I have no shot. But if the guides could ever draw me a land, I think I have a decent shot. Maybe not a decent shot, but at least a shot. I can do something. Land? No, perfect. Another Mana Leak I can't cast. You'll love to see it. I also am going to upkeep bottom the Mana Leak with this opt. I just cannot win the game if I draw Mana Leak for turn. Okay. Okay. We have a shot. Not a good shot, but a shot. I'm going to 4 here. So I'm going to 1 on their turn. That's not good. They have Rift Bolt suspended, right? No. Here? Yep, they have Rift Bolt suspended. How do I win? Let Rift Bolt resolve Gust Guide? And hope they don't have another creature? And then force on their turn, maybe? Or maybe maybe I just play around them having Boros Charm. I think that's maybe the play. I don't know. This is bad almost no matter what I do. Do I force the Rift Bolt just because I know I can? I think I'm in a bad enough spot here that I just have to force this Rift Bolt. I think that's where I'm at. I really need him to draw like a land or do something here. I think I get rid of the mana leak. Because I have two, even though mana leak is good here, because I have two drawing a 5-drop, you love to see it. You just absolutely love to see it. Did they draw Boros Charm? No, it doesn't look like they did. Another Rift Bolt, okay. Well, I was dead to Boros Charm and they didn't have it, so that's good. This Rift Bolt I do think I let resolve. Because it only puts me to 1. I know they're drawing Goblin Guide next turn, so I'd like to get the Kaya's Guile they sack. I gain... Oh no, they're drawing Goblin Guide here. Okay. Okay. Well, I need them to not have a spell in hand. That's where we're at. If they don't have a spell, I think I win. And if they do have a spell, I'm going to lose. But that's what I need. I need their hand to be like sorcery speed or not good or something along those lines. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, I gain 4 life. Do you have the burn spell in response? No. Alright. Take it. Alright. I'll really take it. So I was dead, so they must just have nothing. Dece. Well, I was just straight up dead. So their hand has to be a land. That's my take. And I think that means here this turn I want to get this Teferian Plane plus and fetch a tap land. And then next turn I can go Teferi plus Mana Leak their play. So I think that's my best shot to win. Oh my goodness, we drew the Guile! It's so good! I still think Teferi plus Mana Leak their play is my best shot here. It does stink that I put myself in an awkward spot versus Luris somewhat, where Kaya's Guile would be better versus Luris, but I think if they just snap off a Luris, it's okay. I just end up countering it. And then their hand has to be another white source plus Boros Charm for them to kill me here. Don't need another land. I'm going to bottom that. Perfect. Jace isn't bad. Fatal Push is good. No, Swift Spear is fine. Yeah. Swift Spear is fine. Because I get to untap 2 If they go for a burn spell before the Swift Spear, I respond by Guile, gain 4. If they play the Swift Spear and go to combat, I can Guile, gain 4, and they can't like respond because I have it to Fairy. Your opponent sacrifices a creature, you gain 4 life. So they're at 5. They still have 1 card in hand. Alright, now they're passing. We have 3 Planeswalkers. Every creature's a dead draw for them. I do think this is the turn where I brainstorm because I'd like to find some counter magic. Oh my goodness, this was really bad. Put these 2 back. I am going to fetch using Field of Ruin. Yeah, creatures are bad draws. Oh, I was supposed to just fire up the tar pit there too, just get the clock going. Sure. That's fair. Still, I'm dead to 2 burn spells. It seems like... Alright, that's fine. Skewer, sure. I literally put that on top of my library and shuffle away. If I draw a second one, I'm going to be furious. Alright. Draw 3. It's ridiculous. Where is a Snapcaster or a Counterspell or little anything? Little anything would be good here. I don't believe 1 is any different than 2, so I think I'm fine to fetch when I have creatures covered. It is different when you don't have creatures covered, but when you have creatures covered, I don't think it's different. Thank you. That was exactly what we wanted. Let's see what opponent does here. I do not need most of the modes. So what if I fire up Tar Pit here? I can untap 2 lands and still have push plus snap Kaya's Guile up. Alright, I think that's reasonable. Alright, they have conceded. Fair enough. I was about to get the Teferi alt next turn and then, you know, brainstorm away there and all their lands, so they were going to have a hard time there. We did pull it out, though. Kaya's Guile made it close, but we got there. We did indeed get there. Alright, the good old-fashioned your lands don't work at all situation going on here. I'm going to keep, though. The ops make this hand keepable. And, oh, well, this hand's actually just very good in the mirror. Take that. Or in a mirror, I guess I'd say. And, obviously, trying to opt to put counter magic on the bottom. Or counter magic on the top, removal spells on the bottom. I'm also happy to draw lands, obviously. Esper Charm's still going to be really good, even though it's wildly uncastable at the current moment. Alright, this is going great. Mana's really coming together here. Really coming together here. This is nice. So, please, any mana, fix me. Alright, I don't really need another Planeswalker. Any mana. That works. I'll take that. That all right. I guess if I had known I was drawing these two in succession, I definitely would have kept Jace. But this is fine. Yeah, sure, I'll play Hallowed Fountain, why not? Now I can snap Opt end of turn, which I might end up doing. Because now that my color issues are solved, I don't really have to worry about all that much. I also don't really want to just play straight into a Cryptic command, though. I think I'm just going to hit their Colonnade before things get too crazy. I guess get a Swamp? I don't know that it matters. Yeah. So I could start firing stuff off here. I really just don't think I need to. They're missing lands, so I'm fine just chilling for a little bit. Getting more lands in play so I can start double spelling on them. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. And just going to keep fetching duels, because basics are at a premium in a matchup that could involve Path Exile and Fatal Push, or Field of Ruin, I mean. Each opponent sacrifices a creature, exile all cards from graveyards. So clean 1-for-1 with a Snapcaster Mage. I'll take it. It does give them a window, but they don't know that. Like, they probably think I have Mana Leak here. They're not likely to jam something into this. Yeah. So it does work out for me there. I think Godless Shrine is a fine grab here. Force Negation is great. I'll take that for sure. I'm going to play another blue source just because of the force. Oh. They're really going hard here. I'm going to let that happen. I think I want to draw 2 cards now. It's not bad. It's like really not bad. I can play Jace with Force Negation, Hardcast, and Force Negation on their turn. That seems pretty good. I can also just force the issue, though, and, like, Snapcaster Esper Charm on their turn and make them do something about that. I was supposed to Cryptic counter draw there, I think. Kind of hate it. Do they have the Guile? They do have the Guile. I guess I'm going to pitch Jace. I don't love this, but I think it's fine. The Fairy's the big win here. Drown in the Lock. Okay. Well, might as well get my value and get the trade. I'm not going to be able to cast my Esper Charm, but such is life. Alright. So this looks like I'm in bad shape, but I think this actually ends up being okay for me. Because they only have 4 cards in hand. I get to put Big Teferi in play and counter their thing to make sure it survives. And force it through with a force. Oh, well, in that case. Yikes. Now I get a lot on their turn. This is great. So now I have Mana Leak plus Force Negation. Should be pretty good here, hopefully. Nope. Hope you have a 1-mana counterspell. And there we have it. So you can see their opponent got to draw more cards than me, but they missed their land drop first. So what I did was I punished them by having a turn cycle, like my turn and their turn, 2 turns set, where I cast way more spells than them. And that put them behind to a Planeswalker, and you don't really recover from long-term active Planeswalkers in these matchups. So that's what we did there, and that's how we won. I'm going to cut all... No, I want the Thoughtseizer. I'm going to cut all the point removal and probably just the Kaya's... no, I'll cut a Verdict. They probably also have Mentors, so there is there is merit to leaving in a Verdict, but I think just 2 Kaya's Guiles is better. Maybe I should have 1 Verdict. Kaya's Guile's pretty bad. Right, I'm going to have 1 Verdict because of Mentor. I think that's more reasonable. Also, the Verdict can pitch to Force, which... you know, people make fun of like, oh, pitches to Force, but that's really relevant in a control matchup where if you have a dead card, you just want to get rid of it, you can just pitch it. Oh my god. This hand is so bad. I hate mulliganing in these, but it's like, none of my land's going to play untapped. I guess Field does, but it doesn't cast anything. I have the dead card that I left in just as like the bad 60th card. And I have 2 Mentors, but no white. This just has to be a mulligan. That really stinks. Man, the 1 Supreme Verdict just really telling me I should have left it in, I guess. And of course I'm going to bottom the Verdict and the opponent's just going to play like a turn 3 Mentor and I'm going to be sad, but what are you going to do? Alright, Thoughtseize with no black mana, that's good. It's a good draw. Black mana would be amazing though. How about not black mana? 4-drop? Alright, well, opponent kept a loose one apparently. Very loose one. They're just gonna like flash out a Snapcaster and start beating down here? Oh man, they're discarding the hand size. Well, fair enough. Must have a good one. Oh, and we drew black mana. Dece. Still not gonna do anything. I'd rather not let them cast anything on a turn where they're discarding a hand size. I'm just gonna keep making my lands. Like, Thoughtseizing them when they're discarding a hand size is not all that great. So next turn I am gonna... This turn, because I don't have another land drop, and they hit their land drop, I think it's totally a good turn to go draw 2 here. Beautiful. I guess I opt. I still want to hit this land. I don't have to cast opt on my turn. I can bottom that. I already have one. That plays. So let's Thoughtseize them and see what they do. If they like mana leak this, I just let it happen. Oh my goodness, they have... They've got Archmage's Charms. They got a few of them. Alright, let's see, I see. Oh boy. I think I take the cheap spells. I think that's what I do, because they're stumble on a land and oh my goodness, they have charms. So opponent's hand is really awkward here. If they don't do anything main phase, which they may or may not do, but if they don't, I am extraordinarily tempted to Cryptic Bounce Draw here, because they're kind of forced to counter that. And then I get to resolve a Planeswalker. Return target permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. I'll do the white mana. Especially because they don't even have basics, so this comes back into play on tap. This is so bad for them. They like, yeah, they have to do something about it. Pay 3, no. And then this turn, I mean, this is why you mulligan to a hand that can hit land drops. Now they're just completely done. Yeah, I mean, they just have no real outs at all. I get to Fairy plus veto whatever they play. Or Mana Leak. Yeah, the game's just done. Alright, that makes sense. I would have packed it in there too if I was them. 100%. Just so dead. But this is why Archmage's Charm stinks. It's clunky and mana problems. It makes your mana weak. Yeah. Won the die roll here in round 5. And we've got a somewhat awkward hand. It's just missing white mana. On the play, I think this is a keep. I'm pretty likely to draw white mana. I've got a decent amount of it. I've also already drawn my swamp in one of my tar pits. I have early interaction in the form of force. Even if my hand does nothing else, even if I draw just like basic island, I can cast Jace. So I think this hand's a keep. Really looking for white mana, obviously, and that is white mana that plays. I do want to play Fortress here, so that, or Island, so that Fortress comes into play untapped next turn, so I can cast this Esper Charm, or this. I can cast everything next turn if I do it this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. That is what I'm gonna do. Man, it might be another mirror. Jeez. Don't like drawing 15 Kaya's Guiles. Not a fan of that, if I'm being honest. Looks like I'm playing a mirror. Perfect. You'll love to see it. I like control mirrors, but like one a league is enough for me. I can do with just one a league. I can make do with that. I'm gonna make a 1/1 and make them exile their graveyard. So I'm at least chipping away at their life total. If they try to snap, like it eliminates snap opt as a line of play. Yeah, I don't know. Not saying we're in a great spot here, but we're doing something. Alright. The good news, like, the 1/1 in play is not really like a win. Like, it's not getting me ahead. It's not going to do 20 damage. The point of this here is more that I'm prepared for a Planeswalker to come down. Like, they kind of have to, you know, if I can get 2 in play or something, They kind of have to respect them that they can pressure planeswalkers, and this matchup does tend to be all about planeswalkers. So I think that's reasonable. Let's see what happens when I Esper Charm here. Definitely drawing 2 cards. Opponent has 8 cards to my 4 right now, so I think that's important. Ooh, they have to discard the hand sets. Interesting. Alright. Little stunned they discarded a hand size there. And didn't counter my Esper, my draw 2. I think what that says is that they don't have Force and Negation in their hand currently, which means I'm going to go hard trying to make them tap out on their turn right now. I mean, that seems like a pretty obvious thing to do in my opinion. Fatal Push my Spirit, that's fine. That is totally fine. That is one of the good things for me here, is I actually have not drawn any of the spells that are going to be like pretty bad for me. Exiling cards from my graveyard, that's fine. I don't actually care. Now on their turn, I can do the same to them. Get back ahead in the 1/1 Spirit Race. Dominate it. Dominate the Spirit Race, baby. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Wait. Oh no. Which one do I do? I think I'm just going to do this one. Did I not? Oh, I tapped in a way where that doesn't work. Heck yeah. They sacrifice their 1/1. I get a 1/1. I'm ahead in the 1/1 wars. Let's go. Give me that token. That's one of those you're playing paper, you just reach across the table and just grab their token and put it on your side and they get mad. Maybe not in the world of COVID, but you know what I mean. Oh, that was beautiful. And so, probably pitching this Verdict to Force here. It's probably the play. Oh, they're pushing my Spirit. All right. The Spirit tried, but didn't quite get there. Did not quite get there. Was a shame. I think I'm still just going to wait. I don't really need to do anything yet. And if I draw a land, I'm in good shape. Yeah, now on their end step, I can, like, Cryptic, bounce a Hallowed Fountain, draw, and have Mana Leak up there still. If they, like, Cryptic my Cryptic, something like that. The idea is to try to find a window here to get a Teferi in play. Although, Crypticing their lands at this point seems a lot worse than spells. Alright, now I will. Once I hit 2, I think it makes a lot more sense. It doesn't seem like opponent has all that much, and they seem to be flooding, actually. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand, draw a card. Alright, well, not ideal, but it does mean that I now can cast Jace into a Cryptic, because I can Mana Leak their Cryptic. Beautiful. If they have another Mana Leak, I mean, obviously this goes bad for me, but it is what it is. Alright, beautiful. And now, if I can, you know, put this one back, I guess, and drawing Snapcaster's fine. Get this in place. So I have a force for whatever they follow up with. Which means they kind of need like Planeswalker plus Counterspell. If they have that, then my Teferi should triumph, I assume. But we'll see. All right. Enough is enough for the opponent here. I get it. I get it. All right, so I'm going to board the exact same way I did last time. I don't think I want to change any of that. I still don't like path or push. Definitely want to cut 2 Guiles, I believe. No, all three Guiles. We'll leave the 1 Verdict in because they might have mentors. Alright, this hand's not, like, amazing, but I've got Opt and Snapcaster. It's fine. Certainly a keep, in my opinion. Okay. Well, I was going to shock and probably Opt looking for a land, but much rather just get the color I was missing from the opening hand into play tapped here and then just be able to play untapped mana next turn. I can even just play the Watery Grave, honestly, next turn. I'd probably rather bluff a mana leak just so they don't have a Teferi, but yeah, I'm going to shock, really put it in their mind that I'm ready to counter a Teferi here. Because you would just never shock here, right, if you didn't have a 2-mana spell to cast. So, like, they might jam the Teferi. If they do, it's either a really, really strong play on their part or just a really oblivious play. It could be either. I would definitely respect the jam Teferi into your opponent that just shocked a shock land and pass, though. I will say that. Weird they're fetching here. Are they countering an Opt? Or maybe... No, they're just fetching. Alright, fair enough. I do want lands, so I'm going to keep... I don't think anything's really changed. Just going to pass. Get ready to snap. I'm going to snap Opt on their turn for sure. At least cast a Snapcaster. I don't know if it'll necessarily go anywhere, but I definitely want to cast the Snapcaster. Don't need another Planeswalker. I already have 3 of those. Puts 1 card on the bottom of their library. Bottom. Okay, Moto. Okay. I'm sure you did. Sure you did. Let's shock again. There's not like a ton of reason to shock there. It is basically just to hold up Cryptic, but I do want to hold up Cryptic. There's a chance I need to counter like a Jace or something on their turn. Additionally, they could have like Thoughtseize, and then maybe I'd want... I don't know. It's not like amazing, but I definitely want to hold up Cryptic there, I think. I know I technically have multiple copies of cards in my deck, but I swear, it happens way more often on Magic Online that you like bottom something you see in a scry and then draw that thing. That happens way too often on Magic Online. With Ponders too, you like shuffle Ponder, draw the exact same 2 cards. Like, I guess it is physically possible that that could happen, but like, no chance. You're never going to draw the same 2 cards in a row. The odds are like astronomical. They're so small. Thoughtseize, you say, huh? Well, I think I'm supposed to counter draw. That way this either resolves and they're still scared of force negation, or it doesn't resolve and then they can't jam. gonna say this is like a veto, right? Or a mana leak? Veto, sure. I guess now I'm happy I have the second Jace that I just bottomed. Alright, Big Teferi I guess makes sense. I don't know. It's weird. It's also getting like pretty low. A land here would be amazing. A land here. Take it. Still not going to attack. I do think I'm supposed to like Esper Charm on their turn. Make them discard maybe. Just start attacking their hand. Target player discards 2 cards. You discard 2 cards. Postboard making them discard is very real, in my opinion. Game 1, it's not. Game 1, you just always want to draw because they just have dead removal spells in their hand. Like, getting a Drown in the Lock and a Cryptic for my troubles, though? Yes, please. That is fantastic. I just got 2 counter spells with 1 draw spell. It's like the dream. Dream come true. Oh my goodness, and I drew the Teferi. That is insane. Or the veto to get my Teferi through. The reason they didn't counter it, which obviously they could have, was because they needed to hold up a counterspell here, because they don't have a force negation. And the fact that I drew the counterspell is just backbreaking for them. Yep. Do I attack? No, let some Thoughtseize again. I think I just plus and just offer to trade off. Like, now my Jace is good. Jace is resolving next turn. Unless they have, like, 5 mana Teferi. 5 mana Teferi would be kind of a disaster. They know my hand, though. They know it's resolving. Okay, their own Jace. Are they doing it to me? Oh, this is no win for you, man. This goes so bad. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm lying. I am lying. It's fine. Oh, that's pretty good too. I think I'd rather leave up black because I already used my veto, so I don't have that many white spells, and I could draw Thoughtseize, which I might want to cast. Force Negation's very good. Okay, take that. Don't really care about the field, and I can put other Jace back at this point. And I'm just going to keep plussing. Drawing the same number of cards per turn, but I have the Teferi in play, so I'm ahead. I am winning. I also have the Colonnade. I mean, they have a Field of Ruin, so they can deal with the Colonnade, but it puts them in a spot where they kind of need to use this before they tap it again, which is good. It is quite good. Oh, Avantris, you say? That card is not good. It's very not good, actually. Not good at all. Alright, looks like they're going for something. If they go for anything big, I obviously force negation. Like 5 mana Teferi, force negation, 100%. Their own Teferi Time Raveler, force negation. The question is, do I pitch Esper Charm or Snapcaster Mage? I think Esper Charm. I don't think, definitely Esper Charm. Not close. And the sick thing here is I get to kill their Jace. Because they tap Field Rune. So what I was saying was, because I have the actual threat, they needed to make a choice before they did something. Honestly, they were probably supposed to crack Field of Ruin before doing this, because now they lose their Jace. I mean, it does come at the cost of them getting a Snapcaster back in their hand, but, like, that's totally fine. I suppose a minus to Fairy on their Snap first, I think. Oh, whatever. It all worked out. All worked out for the best. Yep, do it like that. Thoughtseize you. At least have 2 snaps. Fair enough. We get an island. Attack Jace. Attack Jace. So they have a Snapcaster versus my hand of... There are 2 Planeswalkers, and I already have the Snap in play, and I have a Snapcaster. They're up all land on me. No, we have the same number of lands, right? Yeah, we have the same number of lands. Never mind, not up a land on me. So I'm just winning by, like, every metric here, I guess. Curious what they do here. They probably need to just... Oh, I was going to say, they probably need to target their own Esper Charm and draw 2, but they don't even have that. I guess Cryptic bounce my Teferi, maybe? Or Jace? I don't know. Oh, I was going to say, Cryptic wasn't the one. Okay, they drew the land. Makes sense. So, there's just, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess you're bouncing, yeah, Jace or Teferi, sure. Either way, though, this isn't getting you anywhere. Oh my goodness, that's a really good draw. I accept. Alright, they've seen enough. Fair enough. I would also pack that one in. Well, that's a 4-1. We lost to humans having one of the best draws its deck can have in Game 3. I mean, that was a premier draw against my deck. Vile with every disruptive 2-drop in their deck, and only 2 drops, and only 2 lands. Never flooding, never drawing anything else, never any of the bad creatures. Like, they had a really good draw. In Game 1, we lost because we kept a hand that was counterspell heavy, and it punished us, and that is what it is, but the deck feels quite good. Esper feels like it's real. Esper Charm seems pretty good at this point. It is a pretty good bridge card. Felt really versatile. Great with Snapcaster Mage. Just gives you a lot of options for card advantage, which the deck can really use. The Force Negation decks really want card advantage in this format, and there's not a lot of great ones outside of Planeswalkers currently. I mean, Uro used to be the thing. It was just the go-to card advantage, everything, but he's gone. So getting card advantage for your... let's look at the deck again. Getting card advantage for your... to keep plowing through Force Negation and not run out of ways to fuel it, I think is important. Kaya's Guile also shined. Honestly, it helped beat Burn by itself. It was good against Living End, so Kaya's Guile looked like it was worth it as the splash. I will say, I did feel like I wanted another Fatal Push or Path Exile on the board. I feel like I want access to 7 of these post-board against creatures decks specifically. It's probably a push. I think I want 4 push, 3 Path Exile total. I think I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, like I could definitely see, a Deicide or a Purge or one of the Thoughtseize is something. One of these cards being another Fatal Push, and I'd probably still keep the Eliminate. And I think I'd be pretty happy. It could just be 2 Eliminates too. I could buy that in the sideboard. It seemed like Eliminate's pretty good in the mirror because this Teferi's so brutal. And it also can answer Mentors. And you saw me leaving in the Verdict because of Mentors, so maybe the Eliminate's better. Worth considering for sure. I'm not certain the answer. But this felt pretty good. Additionally, Esper is something I'm going to want to come back to because it does seem like the new standard set Strixhaven had some pretty good Esper removal spells, specifically some black-white ones that looked pretty strong, so, worth trying in this deck at the very least. So we'll see how that goes, but I like this quite a bit. Remember, if you like the content we're making here, please subscribe to the channel. Please leave a comment. Please tell me what your favorite control deck is. I'd like that. Like the video, all of that. Let me know. I will say the next video I'm going to make here is I want to do a blue-white deck. Just see how good blue-white control can be in the current meta. So that's probably where I'll go next. But this one felt pretty good, so happy with the start. And with that, talk to you next time.
I'm joined by Kyle Balgamase. Welcome, Kyle.
How are you?
Raja Suleiman with Orzhov.
Max McVitie.
Congratulations, Brian DeMars.
Zach Allen. I wouldn't be here without these guys, though. So.
And the champion of Proto Counter-Attack here, Relax.